everyone, and welcome to the November edition of the Today's Woman Show. We have a lot in store. We are talking about holiday decor, buying and selling homes, and so much more. I am sitting here with a boss. I am here with Teresa Cotterman. She is flipping multi-million-dollar real estate deals, country properties, homes, you name it. Teresa, you were just broadcast on a national show.
Yes, I was.
Okay, how was that?
It was extremely fun, and especially to do it with my daughter and her husband and my grandkids.
Oh, you took the whole family on the show.
We did, yes. They all have to like it.
All right, well, tell us, how did you guys land national spotlight?
Well, they had been looking for about 2 years to find the perfect property. And Fox Business Network, which was amazing to work with, contacted me and asked if I thought that the property that I had sold, which was to my daughter, that those buyers would be interested in being on the show.
Oh, by the way, I met your daughter, and I think she is phenomenal.
Well, I do too.
And we're going to do lunch, so I'm going to get to see the property. I think she doesn't know. I just invited myself. All right, well, that's so cool. So basically, they reached out to you.
Yes.
Which is nice, which
Yes.
means that they are paying attention to what it is that you're doing. And you clearly have done a good job
Yes.
in selling Kentucky for, a network to reach out. We've been in the news for a whole lot of things, so it is nice to know that we're being known for some positives. How are you selling Kentucky? How are you attracting people to the state?
The state pretty much sells itself because of what I work with the horses, the country property estates, all the ambiance of Kentucky. I mean, that's what people are looking for.
Well, you taught me something new today. Country properties. What exactly? Tell everybody else, because I'm like, girl, we selling properties to countries. What does that mean? So tell me, tell our readers, what is a country property?
Normally at least 5 acres.
Okay, all right, awesome.
So, yeah.
Like I said, Teresa Cotterman, she is a boss. Holidays are coming up.
Yes.
And they say that's like a good time to buy or sell.
It is.
Why
It
is
definitely
that? I'm
is.
like, I don't want to move during the holidays.
Because you have serious buyers and you have serious sellers if they're willing to be looking during the holidays or selling during the holidays. And that's the biggest thing. You have less competition with the other properties that are on the market because there won't be as many as a seller.
Interesting.
And as a buyer, you just have to not get into the romance of the season, but yet stick to what you're looking for.
So speaking of stick to what you're looking for, I was sharing with you that I wish I had met you because, I felt like I had everything down when I was looking for my house. But I love to host. Girl, I'll throw a party for no reason, right? So there are things that I should have been thinking about as a person that loved to host. I was thinking okay, well, will we have a pool? Will we have a yard and land for the grandkids? I didn't think about what I needed to be a great hostess.
Yeah.
For those that are tuning in with us, what are some ideas or things that you would recommend they look out for if they love to be a host?
Definitely a large kitchen, maybe a connecting dining area, and openness so that they can include all the people that are there.
Yep, that is definitely where I fell short. I love my home. It's a beautiful home. But it's not as open as I'd like it to be,
Right.
which means now I got to go through the darn process of remodeling, and that's a whole nother show.
It sure is.
All right, Teresa, what's the best property you've ever sold, or what you've been one of your most proud?
Oh, gosh. Probably the one to my daughter and her family. It was really exciting to see them finally find exactly what they were looking for.
How long did they search?
2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we looked all over the whole state of Kentucky.
Wow,
So.
2 years. That's a process. Did it take them a while to sell their home? Did they wait until they sold, or did they have to sell after they bought?
No, they had to sell after they bought, but the market was so crazy that it didn't matter. And most of the time that was a better situation because people were wanting to sell their homes but had nowhere to go because of the market.
Well, Teresa, keep killing it and selling $1 million homes. I want to be like you when I grow up. Everyone, thanks so very much for tuning in. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back, everyone, to the Today's Woman Show. It's the November issue, and this show, we're all about the holidays. We just talked about how you buy a multi-million-dollar home and what to look for if you are the hostess with the mostest. And now I am here with Claire and Robin, and we're going to talk about mocktails, cocktails, and the do's and don'ts of throwing a great party. Claire, you are owner of Lando Goshen Farm and Event Center.
Correct.
Yes, I got that. And Robin, we're going to talk about where you came up with this name, Twisted Sisters Bar Service. I know that there's a story there. But we're going to have some fun today. We're just going to stand here as though we were in my kitchen. We're going to make up drink. And we're going to have an alcoholic version and a non-alcoholic version. So, okay, so while you're kind of getting the non going, first and foremost, how did you two link up?
Well, we met, she came and did her bar service at my event center in Goshen, Kentucky, and I immediately just kind of fell in love with Robin, just because we kicked it off on a friendship level, but also on a more professional level. And I can always count on Robin. Obviously, my biggest responsibility as an owner of venue is to make sure that every one of my guests is safe leaving my property, and they're keeping, people in the community safe. Obviously, because weddings, a lot of times people are drinking and things like that, and we want people to have a good time, but we also want people to be safe. So I know when Robin's at my barn, I never really have to worry about a guest being too overserved, an underage, drinker, sneaking alcohol, things like that. So we kind of just developed a really nice friendship, and I trust her a lot, and I don't always have to be watching her. So that, that's a big weight off my shoulders as being, the owner and responsible for, the community and safety of all of our guests.
Sure, no, I can completely appreciate that as a business owner. Your vendors can be an extension of you. But I love the fact that you all have made it into a friendship, what we call the sisterhood. Okay, Robin, so Twisted Sisters. Where did that name come from? Because all I can think of, this is what I think of when I think of Twisted Sisters. She was twisted. She had a little too much. She was twisted. Okay, but where did the name actually come from?
Okay, so I come from a really big family, and in the 80s we had big parties where we would do canning and make our own stuff and fresh preserves and fresh everything. And I had two aunts that we named the Twisted Sisters. So
Twisted because they were crazy?
Crazy, just fun crazy. Not
like throw pots and pans across the room at your head crazy.
Fun crazy.
Okay.
you might get a strawberry every now and then if you weren't doing something right. But just fun crazy. Just reliable, just, if you needed them, they were there, but they were just fun, crazy. So when I sat down to think of a name, I wanted something that people would remember. And the first thing people say is, "Oh my gosh, I love your name," and they'll I've got a couple of members of my family that are twisted too. My sisters are,
Don't we all?
Yeah. So that's where that comes from.
I believe this. If anybody tells you that there is nobody twisted in their family, they are lying.
Yeah.
100%.
They are absolutely lying.
Walk on, because they aren't telling the truth.
And here's the reality of it too. Family keeps you humble. I say all the time, please don't put me on the front page of anybody's newspaper.
No.
Please don't.
No, fly under the radar.
But your aunts are putting you on the front cover of a newspaper for a very, very good reason. So let's talk about what made you launch the business, right? I heard something about a Google search, and then
I did an internet search. I loved what I was doing, and I was stuck and wanted to move forward. And I don't like taking orders. I'm sorry.
Well, who are you taking orders from?
When you work for somebody else, you take orders from them. Okay, so if you're a strong female, we want to do our own thing. So I internet searched bar services, independent bar services that would service parties, events, weddings, and there was only one in Kentucky. And this was back in 2013, 14. And so I went, you know what, let's figure out how to do this. So I went to the city of Louisville, I got licensed, I went to the ABC, I got certified, and then I started.
And then it was on and popping from there,
And,
girlfriend.
and then it popped.
And then again, you two synced. But before I get back to that, so you made something. What do we have here?
Okay, so this is our poison poinsettia,
Okay.
which is my creation. We are doing 5 signature drinks for an event in December. This has homemade cranberry tequila. It has raspberry liqueur and Prosecco. And it is very refreshing, very holiday. We can put the recipe out there if anybody wants it.
I
But,
love it.
yeah,
I love
but-
it. So am I free to taste
Absolutely,
test this now?
absolutely, absolutely.
Ooh, that is
Yeah,
good.
very refreshing.
That is good. Now, Claire's does not have alcohol.
No, Claire's is one of our mocktails, and it's more like just like a fruit punch, but it's for the younger generation or for somebody that just wants to be the designated driver or just doesn't want to drink that night. So we do have a whole series of mocktails that we can do.
All right. For those of you that are just tuning in, I have Claire, CEO of Land of Goshen Farm and Event Center, and Robin, Twisted Sisters Bar Service, and we are talking about how to celebrate the holidays, mix things up a little bit, cocktails, mocktails, but also how to throw a great party. So Claire, listen, I have seen some amazing events, and I have seen some that I was like, oh my God, I do not wish to be them at this moment. I think a lot of people make assumptions that some of us make it look easy, but planning an event is no easy feat. It's holidays, and there are a lot of people that are ready to get back in and have people together and celebrate. What are some do's and don'ts to planning a good party?
I definitely think that you need to, if you're planning a party with other people and other vendors, that you definitely need to go over your contracts with each vendor, just making sure like what they provide. Because I notice sometimes when things kind of go a little bit more chaotic, it's usually when people haven't kind of paid attention to, hey, what vendor is supposed to be doing something. So if they don't have like a coordinator that's doing that for them, then I do suggest like having a really good family member that can kind of coordinate all of that and make sure, this is the responsibility. Because a lot of times people get kind of confused, like, oh, the bartender was supposed to bring the ice, or I thought my caterer was going to set up the lemonade, and that's not in their contract. So me as a venue owner, I'm also not supposed to be doing that, but I will step in because I don't want, things to go completely chaotic. And I'm trying to keep everything from, if it's a wedding, the bride and groom, or if it's whoever's like, the paid clients, the VIP or whatever. I try to keep all that under the radar so they're not stressing out, because planning events is stressful enough for people. So I want that to be as enjoyable as possible, because it's supposed to be fun. It's a party, right? So, yeah.
So that's interesting. As an organization, Today's Woman, we do plan events, and there is a difference in who is responsible for what. And sometimes venues don't really have that sort of white glove service that you've just mentioned. So not only if you host your event at your facility, they also get the knowledge and the wisdom that you bring and how to avoid some train wrecks that you've seen before. Yes. Everyone, thanks so very much for tuning in. We'll be back after the break. For those of you that are tuning in, I am here with Claire, CEO of Land of Goshen Farm and Event Center, and Robin with Twisted Sisters Bar Service, and we are helping you throw an amazing holiday party this season. Or if you're trying to think through what you want to plan for the future, whether it be a wedding or something else, just some do's and don'ts and things to think about when you're planning your event. So you two have synced up and join forces. You bring your bar service to Claire's facility, and Claire, you provide the venue. One of the things that you said that really does stick with me, because it really does matter, is making sure that your guests make it home safely. Uber and Lyft have certainly changed the game there. There really is no reason why you should not be safe in getting home. But in the service industry, there are some people that don't think about making sure you don't overserve guests. Was there a time or an incident that was kind of like a light bulb moment for you, or is this just something you came in knowing, I do not want to be responsible?
Obviously, my biggest responsibility is obviously making sure all of our guests are safe when they leave our farm, and then keeping our community safe. So that's why I really enjoy working with Robin, because she always keeps a good eye on people and not over-serving.
I think our responsibility is to have a liquor liability insurance that we never use. We do not want to get to the point where we have to say, you've had too much to drink, or can I see your ID because I don't think you're 21. So we are there to prevent an incident from happening. So I am very, very alert when I'm at one of my bars. I make sure that everybody is carded under the age of 30. If they show up already drinking and they have bottles on them, we take it away from them. If they start getting intoxicated, we stop it. I mean, we literally stop it. We do not want that responsibility. First of all, I don't want my family, or your family hurt, or anyone else's. So we really stay on top of it. And yes, it's not pretty and it's not fun to do, but guess what? We have to do it.
Well, I could tell by the passion in your voice that you mean business. And so, Claire, I get,
Yes, she does.
I do get why this is a good partnership for you all. So, but you also have mocktails, right?
Yes,
to
we
make
do.
sure for those that don't want to drink. And I think this is becoming a thing. It seems to be trending. More people are doing it. When did you incorporate that into your business, and where do you see it headed?
About 8 months ago, we started doing more and more mocktails, and now almost with every event, we have at least one mocktail. Now, they might say, can we add a liquor to it after we've made it up, but at least we have that option. I've personally started hand making, like homemade blueberry lemonade with mint.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, lavender orange juice. I mean, we do a ton of custom-made drinks because we want that specialty for that event. We will make, like, we've got an event coming up that I have designed 5 drinks for. One of them's called Frosty's Meltdown. So it's
Oh my God. Okay. I'm like, have fear of missing out. Like, I'm just meeting you two, and there are events with Frosty Mans and blueberry lemonades and all the things.
We're going to have Deck the Daiquiris. We're going to have Mrs. Claus on the 26th day, her drink, which is going to have bourbon, tequila, and rum in it. So and then we're gonna have 3 mocktails at that one also.
I don't know. She's like a best kept secret. I'm almost afraid to push her too far out there because, like, can I get some of these ingredients before you blow up? I think it's amazing. One last question. Claire, and this one is for you.
Sure.
You all have done a lot of work. I heard that the space is really unique, and I'm really looking forward to coming out and visiting. Talk a little bit about what you did there with the space and what makes it so unique.
Yeah, so we remodeled a 1940s barn from 2017 to 2019 with the help of the Amish. So obviously the Amish are known for their craftsmanship, their woodworking skills, they're very talented people. So we kind of had the vision of, you know, how are we going to get the farm to remain a family farm? It's been my husband's family for 108 years now, and we like to see it remain for another 100 years. Obviously farms cost a lot of money to run, so we created the event center just as a way, you know, to guarantee the farm will be for future generations. So with that being said, we are in Kentucky, and there's a lot of competitions because there's lots of barns and farms everywhere. So we try to set ourselves a little bit different, you know, from other venues. We created wood oak slab tables, and, you know, your typical tables where people have to sit down at round tables that don't need like table covers or anything like that. And then we've added trees inside of our building and just, you know, kind of create nature back into it.
It sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. Today's Woman viewers and readers, we are booking a trip and we are going to Land of Goshen Farm and Event Center. This has been amazing, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. We hope you enjoyed the November issue of Today's Woman. More so, we hope that you enjoy the holidays with you and yours. Throw a great party. We'll see you next time, same place.